Welcome to the Deep Dives, where we try to cut through the noise and get to what really matters. Today, we're diving deep into something pretty tough, actually, but sadly very common, financial scams. We've got a really compelling story from a listener, Zane from Bolton. It gives us a clear look at how these things work, tactics, the red flags, and the difficult journey afterwards.
Yeah, and what's really striking is while the details change scam to scam, the basic patterns, they often stay remarkably the same. So this story, Zane's story, it's going to help us see those common threads, I think.
Exactly. So our mission today is to pull out the key lessons, really, from this real conversation about being scammed by someone named Ghazala Din. We'll look at how it started, the warning signs, what happened next. Get ready, because this is where it gets really interesting. Okay, so let's unpack this. Our listener, Zane, he got caught up in this back in November 2021.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like a cold call. He got involved through someone else he knew.
Yeah.
This person introduced him to Ghazala, saying she was, and this is the quote, doing shares and stuff. Pretty vague, right?
That vagueness is key, isn't it? But that introduction part, how often do these things start with someone you know? Or at least someone you think you can trust, like a referral. In this case, the person who referred him even claimed they'd given Ghazala £7 5K themselves.
Wow.
Yeah, and they said there was a promise of a guaranteed £1,000 every month.
Exactly. That word guaranteed plus the immediate return.
Yeah.
That's such a powerful lure. The communication, it was mostly via WhatsApp. And Zane wasn't just promised monthly money. Apparently it varied like £1,000, £2,000, even £3,000 for some people. But also a big sort of balloon payment at the end of the year, like a lump sum payout. Could be £26,000, £27,000.
Okay, so a classic structure?
Yeah. He put his money in November, expected the returns to start in December, but he never saw a single penny. Not one.
And if we zoom out a bit, that idea of the same story but with different figures, it really highlights a common tactic. It's like a standard script, but they tweak the numbers, maybe based on what they think each person can afford to invest. Tailored bait.
So naturally, when Zane started asking, "Where's my money?" that's when the excuses started rolling in. And these are, well, they're pretty classic lines we hear a lot. What stood out to you from her list of excuses?
Well, what's fascinating and predictable, sadly, are the patterns of evasion. Ghazala used this whole string of health excuses. Things like, oh, I'm in hospital, or I'm not well, I've been admitted, even I can't pick up the phone, the nurses are here.
Right.
They're all designed to make you feel sorry for them, right? And to delay you taking any real action buys them time.
Definitely plays on sympathy.
Okay.
And then there were the money excuses. She claimed her bank account is blocked. Or even, get this, seized by the police. She actually told Zane, her exact words were, "I can't get into my accounts. As soon as they open, you get your money back."
Yeah, these stories, these narratives, they're built to make the scammer seem, helpless. Like, it's not their fault they can't pay you. It's these external forces, things beyond their control. Right. It's a classic way to shift blame, buy more time, and stop people from realizing, hang on, I've been scammed.
So what did this all mean for Zane?
Well, the person who first recommended Ghazala to him, they also ended up losing money. They apparently told Zane that Ghazala wasn't paying them anymore either.
Okay, so the network effect, but in reverse. That really brings up an important point, doesn't it? About how the scam often unravels.
Right.
People realize they're victims when the money stops flowing, not just for them, but for others they know who are involved too.
Exactly. And Zane himself, he's never received anything since that first investment back in November 2021. Nothing. But he hasn't just let it go. He's taken some pretty big steps. He's got solicitors involved now.
Good.
And importantly, they're working on a no-win, no-fee basis.
That's huge, especially when you've already lost money. Yeah, he found them online, apparently. And they told him it's a very good case.
Why is that?
Because he kept everything. All the WhatsApp messages, proof of the bank transfer.
Oh, that digital trail. That's absolutely crucial. You need that hard evidence.
Totally. WhatsApp messages, bank records. It makes it much harder for the scammer to deny anything. It provides concrete proof.
Yeah, it moves it beyond just he said, she said.
And his solicitors, they've already reported the crime to Action Fraud for him.
Okay, good step.
Yeah, and a key piece of advice that came up was making sure you get that Action Fraud reference number.
Yeah.
You really need that for any official follow-up. Okay, so Zane's taking action, but let's maybe pivot slightly. Thinking about prevention for everyone listening. Beyond the legal steps after the fact, what kind of due diligence can people do beforehand to avoid getting into this situation?
Right, that's the critical part, isn't it? Prevention. This leads to maybe our next key insight. proactive due diligence is your best defense. You absolutely have to verify any investment opportunity yourself, independently.
Don't just rely on a friend saying it's good.
Exactly. Don't rely only on referrals, even from people you trust completely, because, well, they might be victims too without realizing it yet. You need to look for objective proof. Like, are they registered with the proper financial regulators? Here in the UK, that's the Financial Conduct Authority, the FCA.
Right, you can check their register online.
Precisely. A quick search on the FCA register, it tells you if a company or person is actually authorized to offer financial services. If they're not on there, that's a massive red flag. Huge. Stop right there.
That makes sense. And what about, like, the way they communicate? Zane's case was mostly WhatsApp.
Yeah, think about that too. Legitimate financial firms. They might use various channels, sure, but they rarely conduct all their serious business, especially setting up investments just through, unsecured messaging apps like WhatsApp. Where's the formal documentation? The official letterhead? A proper professional website. If all that's missing or feels a bit flimsy,
It feels off.
it probably is off. Trust that gut feeling. If the process feels weird or unprofessional, question it. Hard.
So looking back at Zane's whole experience, it really does shine a light on how these scams work, doesn't it? From that initial hook, the promise of easy, guaranteed money, through to the predictable, often heartbreaking excuses. And importantly, it shows the steps victims can take to try and get some recourse.
Yeah, and if we connect it back to that bigger picture, just recognizing those common patterns is so incredibly valuable for all of us. The way they use referrals, that trust Trojan horses idea, the big guaranteed lie, and that almost scripted sequence of excuses.
Right.
Understanding these things helps you spot the danger signs earlier. These aren't random events. They're calculated plays designed to exploit, well, basic human psychology. Our hopes, sometimes our trust.
So what's the takeaway for you listening right now? Hopefully this deep dive arms you with a better sense of awareness. Next time you hear about an investment opportunity, especially it sounds amazing, high returns, guaranteed, just pause. Think back to Zane's story. How many of those red flags are popping up? And maybe ask yourself this. What's one simple step you could take, maybe even today, just to learn a bit more about common investment scams, so you're better prepared to protect yourself and maybe the people you care about too? Stay sharp out there and, keep asking those tough questions.